let's speak about Trump 2.0 and what are the changes, what all he has brought to the table. Let's take a deeper dive into all of that first. Donald Trump's first day in office marked a significant shift in U.S. immigration policy, particularly for Indian families on H1-B visas. The new executive order challenges the long-standing principle of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment. Now, newborns of Indian parents on H1-B visas will no longer automatically gain U.S. citizenship. This decision will have far-reaching repercussions for Indians, especially from Telugu states, where the American dream has been a significant aspiration. With H1B, 2 green card conversions now taking decades, children of H1B holders may be forced to apply for F1 student visas as they grow older. These children will later compete for H1B quotas to stay in the U.S., making life on an H1B visa feel increasingly transient. Now, the impact does not end there, ladies and gentlemen. Without addressing the green card backlog, the H1B program becomes less attractive. Previously, H1B to citizenship was achievable within a decade. Now, the process can take several decades. For many, the U.S. might now seem like a short-term destination akin to the Middle East, where people work, save, and eventually return to their home country. Critics have also argued this move disproportionately affects legal immigrants, while Trump administration officials have emphasized their aim to curb illegal immigration and end practices like birth tourism. Each year, between 50,000 to 1 lakh births occur via tourist visas, with China being a primary contributor to this particular issue. In fact, India has responded by working with the U.S. authorities to identify and repatriate illegal Indian immigrants. An estimated 18,000 have already been flagged for deportation, with reports suggesting that up to 2,20,000 Indian nationals may be living in the U.S. illegally. This crackdown now coincides with broader immigration reforms, trade tensions, and of course diplomatic negotiations. India now hopes that its cooperation on deportations will only help safeguard legal immigration pathways, including the vital H-1B visa program. Now, as legal challenges to Trump's immigration policies do unfold, their long-term impact on Indian families, U.S.-India relations, and immigration law still remains uncertain.
President Trump, if cartels are now going to be seen as foreign terror organizations, would you think about ordering U.S. Special Forces into Mexico?
We have Executive Director of North American Association of Indian Students, Sudhanshu, joining us on the broadcast. Sudhanshu, thank you so much for joining us early this morning over this very particular and very critical issue for Indian. We are speaking about H-1B visa, something that every Indian actually eyes at. They have this big American dream of shifting out of their country, earn their livelihood, and live a modern life in the West. How exactly is that going to be, turned overall with this particular thing coming in from the Oval Office?
Thanks, Sakshi, for having me in this very consequential discussion. Look, it's going to be impacted significantly. The dream that you talk about, not just from the Telugu-speaking states, but all across India, is to be able to immigrate legally, be able to get a job that is above the means that, whatever could possibly be afforded in India, and be able to raise a family, and hopefully your kids have a better chance in life. That is purely at risk at this point. There were quite a few executive orders passed yesterday, the first day of Trump's administration, out of which about 10 to 12 directly deal with immigration. Of course, the biggest one that has come across is the birthright citizenship. And what it basically does is that if your mother was on a temporary visa, which all visas are temporary, by the way, the child that has been given birth to will not get automatic citizenship. And thankfully, this doesn't affect people before the executive order was passed. It's not retroactive. But moving forward, if this stands the course, and that's a big if, because there's going to be a lot of legal hurdles. 14th Amendment is a constitutional right. It's been in legal precedent for about 150 years. Many cases have gone through. So we believe that it won't stand the court's time. But still going all the way until the Supreme Court, this being in discussion. And in essence, it makes that dream of providing your kids that all Indian parents always have a better lifestyle, a better standard of living, is at risk. And yeah, absolutely, it impacts Indians the most because 70% of H1B visas were given to Indians. On top of that, Indians are also one of the biggest and the largest at this benefactors of F1 visa. They're growing in the O1 visa category. So across all visas, Indians have been the largest benefactors. So it's going to impact them the most. Now, this is all really confusing because even today, 3 hours ago, Sakshi, Donald Trump stood in the White House and actually batted for H1B. He again and again said that he likes H1B immigrants. He even thought and talked about expanding it, not just to high skilled software developers, the status quo that we think of H1B benefactors, but even expanding it to others. So it's super confusing right now. I mean, there is part of the administration who is trying to angle this as an issue that has impacted all Americans. It is a corporate interest where they're trying to pay substantially much cheaper aspects. And then there's one aspect of the administration that's actually vouching for H1B. So Indians are so confused at this point. And on top of that, you have executive orders that impact that kind of H1B dream, that pathway to citizenship.
Absolutely. Sudhanshu, would request you to please stay on with us. Shiva Sharma, our reporter, is also joining us in the broadcast. Shiva, this is going to be extremely confusing for the Indians over there because they are living at a better way of living there in the US. With this announcement coming in from the Oval Office, specifically how Sudhanshu has put it across, it's quite confusing for the Indians because first Donald Trump also said that he is going to provide it, but then he has taken a step back. He has said that, these are not going to be provided just to curb down on that illegal immigration point.
Yep. Good morning, Sakshi. Basically, a lot of hospitals, they are providing medical tourism only for the birth, actually. So people come from China and other Asian countries and Arab countries. People come here and give a birth to child and take the citizenship and go away. So the advantage for them is they have got the dual citizenship. So that they wanted to stop, and also the illegal immigrants who comes here, so they also give the birth to their child, and after 21 years, so automatically they will become, their child will sponsor the green card for them, and 22nd year they will become green card holders. So this practice, Trump wants to stop it. So as far as the Indians are concerned on H1, definitely they are going to, this is going to affect. But what I feel is this amendment, the 14th amendment, which is I think 1868 they introduced the amendment done, subject to correct. So now 22 states already they filed case against this Trump's executive order. This will go to Supreme Court, and the amendment after constitution changes needs to be done. So otherwise it is not going to take place. That is, we can say that. And also he might change that, legal parents. It means H1 or people who are working here, right? They have got the SSN, Social Security, and they are earning here, and they're paying taxes and all. So they might exclude them, the H1 holders, and also there's a possibility of speeding up the green card process for whoever is on H1. So that might take 2 years to complete. Last time also he was saying that, but he was not having the full majority in the Senate and Congress. That's the reason he was holding it. So probably this time the green card process will fasten. So that is what I feel.